people do forget human factor, right? There's
Yeah.
human factor that somebody will need to, go get refreshed, or the dress need to be, bustled up, or something else. Somebody needs to go to the parking lot to go pick up something. So there's so little things. So if we do plan it sometimes we get clients who want to plan everything by the minute, and it's not realistic. So we want to tell them, no, let's just leave this much time or this much time, so you can relax, so you don't have to feel like you have to consistently keep moving, because you will be tired, and because you get all tensed up internally too. Next day
Right.
you wake up and you feel
s-
sore.
yeah.
I wake up sore
Yeah, right.
next day. So that's certainly
That's a great
one of those.
point, because so you even like you do you plan as like, hey, you should have a time of free time? Is that what you mentioned, free time?
I suggest, yes. I always try to put in the timeline at least 2-3 breaks within
Breaks,
the timeline.
yeah. Who'd have thought? I
It-
never hear people planning breaks. I've never heard, like a wedding planner, like, okay, this is break time.
Right.
But like everyone's got break. You gotta work. You can't work for 4 hours legally. You have to have a break after 4 hours, right?
Right.
And these people are going 20 hours at a wedding without a break.
Exactly, because so it's interesting because I've learned this. I'm from the meetings and events industry, which I've discovered last year. I thought weddings were part of the meetings and events industry, but they are not. They are romantic private events industry.
That's interesting. Right.
But I'm getting a little bit more involved into other sorts of events just to learn, and I'm just finding out so much interesting information. And I was listening to this webinar where the speaker was actually saying that the more, for example, they were planning a conference, and the more your conference is stacked up with activities and things going on, the less value they're getting out of your conference, because they don't have time to absorb the information they're getting. So you have to plan those nothingness
Right.
breaks, so the information they receive, their activities they've been doing, your brain has time to absorb it and remember it and enjoy it. So that little thing, I listened to it and I was like, this is exactly true. Remember, if you go to school and college and you have class,
Yeah.
you did study, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it says that psychologically you have to create those breaks, so your body and your mind has time to realize what's happening. Even though you're listening, you're present, but you just don't have time. So what happens in the wedding day, when you're 12-14 hours running around, starting from hair, makeup, and all the way until your grand exit, you run through it, and then okay, the wedding day is done. We've been planning it for a year, and it's so quick,
Yeah.
because you didn't have time to stop and smell the roses,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
So
great
you have to schedule those.
That's a great point. That's a great point.